A lot of you might already be working in a SaaS company and are familiar with this term called the SaaS waterfall graph. It's actually really important for customer success teams to understand it because this is one of the ways that you can actually show an impact or an improvement of how your customer success team has on the bottom line. So when you present back to the board or the executive team, the ability for you to generate this waterfall graph is actually going to be very, very important. So in this video, I'm going to share multiple ways that you can create that graph or slice and dice and focus on different things that might be important for your company or the way you're doing business, as well as talk about what is the meaning of each category, how do you produce it, what kind of tools have I seen other companies are using in order to create this significantly important graph, and hope you find this extremely helpful, especially if you're in CS Ops. Hey guys, Irit Eizips here for CSM Practice, the customer success strategy consulting firm. Today, like I said, let's dive in on what is a SaaS waterfall report. Some have happened to call it SaaS Bridge Report. This is how a very basic report looks like. And so I got that one from travismiller.com. If you just do a quick Google search on SaaS waterfall revenue analysis, you will find different ones. So I just picked a few that I think are going to be interesting for us to look at. The MRR booking waterfall can also be used for ARR or multi-year bookings. In fact, if your company offers all three types of renewal methods or contract types, you should probably consider slicing and dicing this bridge analysis or booking waterfall by different ways. And so basically, sales is going to be responsible for new sales deals predominantly. And then most often we will be in customer success responsible for the actual renewals and any kind of thing that happens with upsell or downsell to some degree. Now, sometimes sales will handle the upsell, but if we're doing our jobs in customer success well, we will hand them over the account whenever they're ready for an upsell. And certainly we are responsible to finding these opportunities and nurture this account to teach them on how to get more value so that these expansion opportunities happen naturally. Now, there's various types of graphs like that, but this is the most basic one. And so I just wanted to go over the different columns or bars. What does each mean and how to collect that? So that's my goal, is that by the end of the video today, you will be able to start thinking about how do you define each for your company, and then how can you start keeping track of those. This is really a fundamental way of thinking about SaaS, but not just SaaS. A lot of on-prem companies are now looking at churn and attrition of customers and how much expansions versus new business deals. And even if you're on-prem or a service company, you might be able to create that waterfall to say, how many additional business are we getting from our existing customers, and how many expansion deals for the existing projects are we getting versus how many projects were semi-canceled. Let's say I had a service contract for X number of hours with this company, but I only was able to get 70% of that done. So if I charge by the hour, I only got 70%, or maybe they cancel a portion of the contract at some point. So all of these things can be tracked with this type of waterfall chart. If you liked what you've heard so far, that's awesome. More coming in a second here, but in the meantime, I want you to click that like button so that YouTube knows that this is great content and you can start sharing it with others. Specifically, I know many larger companies will take a very close consideration around their maintenance contract and how much revenues they might be getting from their partners. If you're that type of company, potentially this type of waterfall might be more impactful for you. So you could see we're taking a look at how much revenues did we have in year one, how much was churn, what was the overall impact, and then break it down, partners versus new business versus price change. I'm not very keen on it. The only reason I showed this is just to show that there's different permutations of this classic waterfall. Here's another one where they're actually looking at company's profit. You could do the same. So how much was it from selling your software or your product versus how much did you do on services? And then they separate it between fixed costs versus variable costs. I think that if you have maintenance contracts, you could definitely do this kind of waterfall and then say, how much did we renew versus how much is new business versus how much is upsell, downsell, all of that is still very much applicable. So just wanted to show that there's different ways to slice and dice the original waterfall for SaaS if you are in a different industry, or even if you are in SaaS, but you sell a lot of like CS revenues, or like you charge for customer success or you charge for support, you should consider including that in your waterfall analysis. So at a very rudimentary level, new business just means new logos. How much of the revenue between year 1 and year 2 was related to new business? You'd be surprised, but like most companies, it's just a fraction of the overall revenues, obviously. So customer success is really responsible for the ballpark of the revenues, or account managers if you're a larger companies. Before we continue, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification button so that you don't miss out on any new videos. Upsell and expansion. Listen, most companies, if you're a traditional company, most likely you don't have the opportunity configured to deal with upsells separately. A lot of times, even if you do have a renewal opportunity, the upsell would be part of like another line item within your own opportunity. So what I recommend, and I recommended this in another video, so you're welcome to take a look at the playlist for renewal process to see all the permutation of renewals and how you can improve the way you track things, maybe in Salesforce or your CRM system, to distinctly say how much of it was an upsell. You do want to have it as a separate line item at the very least, and then call it out as an upsell. You might even want to have separate fields to, even if it is one renewal deal, to have the salesperson actually calculate how much of it was a straightforward renewal, how much was downsell, and how much was upsell. Because sometimes you will have all three in the same deal, like some sort of a discount on the previous year's renewal, but they're also opting into a lot of other licensees and regions. So kind of want to think about how you set up your CRM system to really distinctly say how much was it that is an upsell. I had another company where you might sign up one account, but then the upsell wasn't very clear. You kind of want to even take a minute to sit down with finance and define what an upsell or expansion really means and what do they want to include in that bucket. But traditionally it would mean either additional seats or of the same product or additional products. Downsell really just measures how much revenue did we lose versus what happened last year. So it doesn't include necessarily the actual churn when you lost the entire logo, but if there were any discounts or they decided to not renew for a certain feature or module that was separately added on, or they decided to stop paying for support or certain services, then that might be a downsell because now you're having less revenues from that account. So again, those should be captured in a different field in your CRM system for you to generate these reports accurately. A lot of this has to do with you tracking your data so that you could do these analysis appropriately. And if you don't, I think that if you have thousands of transactions, this almost becomes impossible. But if you just have 50 customers and you're just a small startup, might as well start off the gates very, very quickly here to be able to do this appropriately. And then churn really measures the entire logo stop doing business with you. Okay, so it's really important to record all these transactions in your system, ideally in your CRM system. Some systems don't have a waterfall capability. That's fine. You can always export the data out. Any Excel or even Google Sheets have this waterfall add-on capability if you wanted to create it within your Excel or spreadsheet applications. But obviously Tableau and your Power BI potentially have these capabilities as well. Google Data Studio also has that capability too. Once you have the data aggregated appropriately within your CRM system, you should be fine. I'm just going to go over an example here of how would you analyze the data. So this blog particularly It's really great. It has this example of if you look at two different companies, how do they compare? So you can see that this is like almost, most companies won't be able to do that, but this is how much the new bookings per month, hard enough to get it per year, per quarter, but yep. And then this is how much expansion happened each month. So overall total booking is this number. Now, most of you will just have this number. Then this is how much we lost if the customer did not churn, but there might be like a part of the opportunity would reflect a downsell. So even if overall they renewed more than they did each customer, then let's say they were at 100 and they renewed for 120, in there might be some downsell. And then this is the overall MRR. So new plus upsell minus downsell minus churn equals net retention rate. Now you'll see that they might actually do a logo, or it's like a revenue in this instance. Just call it the customer churn rate is the number of lost customers in the period divided by the previous. So they're actually doing a logo churn analysis. New minus, divide by the loss. That would be probably just the churn rate. But you can also calculate net retention rate and gross retention rate. The gross retention rate would be this would be your gross retention rate. The net retention rate would just be how much was supposed to renew minus how much renewed. That would be the gross retention rate. So this formula here in this blog is just calling out the gross retention rate. But they also recommend calculating the percentage of expansion. And then you can see the whole formula in here. Now, if you have a big strategy around expansion, so if you're going through a lot of M&As or you're releasing multiple products, your company's probably betting on growth by doing some upsell and cross-sell for existing customer base. So this might be really important to keep track of. Okay, so that's for new business. Customer acquisition, super important one. So how much do we spend on sales and marketing versus not so important for customer success, but then some also look at average spent per account. And also another one is the ARPU. How much revenues are we getting per user? If you have a lot of users, and there's some additional SaaS metrics not related to this video. Just wanted to reiterate, the waterfall is actually really important, I think, to customer success executives to show their impact on the overall company's growth and numbers, and how do we impact the bottom line. So put a greater emphasis on expansion, downsell, and churn. And then even in that, you might want to do a cohort analysis of that by different customer segments. So industry, you could do it by customer size, especially if you wanted to highlight that you need an additional investment in a certain way. Or if you really outdid yourself on selling additional services and you see that there's a big correlation between services and churn or lack of churn or renewals, then you kind of want to show that as well. So hopefully you will find this applicable to your business, and I'll include all the links to the different blogs that I've shared in this video so you can read more about this topic. And I wish you great success. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, give this video a like. Subscribe to this channel because it helps a ton in terms of just sharing our videos with the customer success community. And if you feel like it, also share it within your groups, within your teams, so that we can create more exposure and awareness to this channel. Really appreciate your support. I'll see you at the next video.